This video in no way condones fraud, but instead explains how it happens and the consequences thereof. Scammers, beware. By the end of this, you'll reevaluate what you think you plan on doing. So the idea is you're trying to get someone to give you money that they would not otherwise give you. Some folks do this by force, running up on someone in the middle of the night, and some by scamming. Now, fraud is becoming the go-to crime for most people because it requires less effort, there's bigger reward, and the punishment isn't as bad as it is for other crimes. With that, most scammers start with picking their victims. You can scam institutions, or you can scam individuals. No cap, they come with their own pros and cons. Big companies can make for easy targets, but they will definitely file a police report if they catch you. Scamming your next door neighbor requires a really good, convincing story that can be kind of hard to come up with. But if the story is good enough, you may never get caught. So what do scammers tend to do? Well, before we get into it, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel for more fraud news and analysis. Someone who's new to the game might lean towards taking money from big corporations, and they'll probably do this for several reasons. For starters, it's easy to find a target. There are so many places where it's acceptable to exchange money for money. I'm talking banks, apps, insurance firms, payday loan places, casinos. It's just a matter of getting them to give you money without you handing over any to them. Another pro to scamming corporations, you usually don't have to see someone in person. For the most part, you can do business with a lot of companies online. If you find yourself in front of a person, usually it's because you're messaging over chat, or there may even be a phone call. But in scamming, you definitely want to avoid seeing someone face to face unless you're an expert at acting and improvising. The final pro is that scamming corporations can feel like a victimless crime.
To where I could make a credit card that looks like it came straight from the bank.
It's not. Every time you scam a company, they jack up all the prices so they can make up for the loss. But generally, you're not taking food off of someone's plate. Also, by the time a corporation notices anything is missing, some of the evidence could be gone, the money will have been spent, and if the dollar amount is low enough, they may even forgive it. The type of business is also important to consider. Big corporations like Western Union, USPS, or Bank of America will have the resources to investigate exactly what happened. But because they're so busy with other concerns like customers, government regulations, and terrorism, a scammer might not be caught quickly. On the other hand, smaller corporations will definitely notice that something is up ASAP, but they may not have all the resources to pinpoint you. Ultimately, and this is probably the biggest con to scamming a business, you will be caught, and the book will get thrown at you. It may take some time and a lot of resources, but you will have the full force of a large corporation ready to fuck you up. Just ask these 10 guys from Chicago. This is a group of friends who were recently indicted for bank fraud. They're accused of depositing counterfeit money orders from USPS and allegedly withdrawing funds prior to the money orders bouncing. The US government claims they tried to get away with almost $1.4 million. And of course, they tried to spend the money on a rap career.
No, pay nothing to bitch. This shit free, baby. I think she Brazilian or something, cause that ain't weed, baby. And I ain't no silicone.
The other way you can scam, directly stealing from the people themselves. This can be tougher. You'll have to come up with a story convincing enough to get people to give you their hard-earned money, but once you do, it's unlikely they'll report you.
I was flying high with all the things I could do. I truly believed.
Another pro to scamming individuals is that if you hit a lick big enough, your pockets can get so fat. Again, the story or task will have to be awfully convincing, but if a scammer can find a way to target those with bukus of money, then there's a huge opportunity there. While younger people tend to get scammed more often, older folks tend to get got for thousands, making them an ideal target. If they do report you, then you'll usually face less time than if you scam a corporation, but that's still a mess of its own. You'll still get caught. Just ask Spencer Trinkle of Jacksonville, Florida. He worked as an investigator for the Department of Children and Family Services and used his position to gain access to an elderly woman's bank account, transferring funds from her account to his through Zelle, which was created by America's largest banks. Spencer stole almost $4,000 from his victim. He ultimately lost his job and got arrested for grand theft and fraud against a senior citizen. At the end of the day, a scammer or a potential scammer has to choose who their victim will be. A large corporation who will come for you, or an unlucky individual who will wear on the conscience for the rest of your life. The choice is yours, but if I were you, I just wouldn't do it. Scammers will definitely go to jail because they will definitely get caught. Whatever financial bind they were in will only get worse. Not to mention, it's simply wrong to finesse your way into extra money that you could have just worked for. So then why am I telling you this? Well, every time we share secrets from the highly sought after 2022 Fraud Bible, we take some of the value out of it. Why purchase the Bible when the game is already public knowledge? By taking the value out of the Fraud Bible, we stop putting money in the hands of those who make their living in the black market. So if you want more fraud news and analysis, then go ahead and press that like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay out of trouble.